Hello, and thank you for watching my video. Welcome to another in the series looking at the elite specializations in Guild Wars 2, and today we look at the Druid. Now, the Druid was the very first, one of the very first professions we actually saw in the trailer for Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. That was way back in like January, February 2015, and we were supposed to get it a few weeks after I think it was after the Reaper. We were supposed to get the Druid, but for some reason we didn't. And there was no comment from ArenaNet. And in fact, the Druid was the very last profession we actually had revealed by ArenaNet. Why was that? A lot of talk about the AI, pets AI. But in the end, the Druid has come out and people love it. The Druid is a staff ranger, so that's the major difference. We get the staff. And let's talk about the skills we get with the staff. Now, the first skill we actually get, fire a concentrated beam of light, damaging the targeting foe and healing allies inside of the beam. And what that means is that everyone, for example, if you fire on a targeted ally, so for example here, you can see here that when that juvenile wyvern was actually in the stream of this light, the actual juvenile wyvern got healed, or wyvern, depending on how you want to call it. Let's talk about Ancestral Wisp. This is skill 2. This is a wisp to attach to your foe. While attached, it will circle the foe, healing allies as it passes through. Now, this is pretty cool. This means that, if you've got a lot of big bosses that you want to fire around, this orb will fire and go round it. So look at this skill 2. We use it on a Sparkfly. Well, it kills it, but let's take it, for example, on this. Let's find a big boss. This Modrum Husk. Now, we fire skill 2 on it. Now, watch this other character. You can see that the wisp goes around, and you can see the healing. Look at the healing it's doing. A lot on that character, Nagash Izar, but look at the healing it does, and it's fantastic. It really is a phenomenal healing skill. So, Astral Wisp is a really cool skill. Then we come to skill 3, Ancestral Grace. Become a wisp of natural energy, traversing to the target location. When you reach the target, you heal allies. So let's have a look what that means like. So let's take a look at, for example, let's find, is there anybody with a little bit of lower health? No, not really. But watch this, we can try and jump in. So we'll go in and woof, it's a really cool close. You can close the point really quickly. So for example, in PvP, skill 3 will allow you to move around the map quite nicely. And then we have skill 4, which is one of the things we saw in the trailer. Send forth vines that immobilize enemies and cleanse conditions from allies. Again, this is a very much like a line of sight weapon, so you must go in a particular line. So it does have some more strategic play, whereas you send it forward and boom, there we go. So we're sending forth those vines, cleansing conditions on allies and inflicting immobilize and on your enemy. Skill 5, summon an energy barrier that causes projectiles to heal upon impact. So imagine a ranger firing at you with a longbow. What this will do, this converts them into a heal. It's phenomenal against projectiles. Really can make a difference against rangers or pistol thieves or longbow warriors. I will say, however, you have to be aware of if someone is, for example, firing down at you, they may be able to go over the top of the barrier. So that's something to bear in mind. Quick mention of the pets. We get a load new pets. You can see here some of the pets we get. We get a juvenile bristleback. We get a juvenile fire wyvern, a electric wyvern or wyvern. We get a smoke scale, and we get a juvenile tiger. Now the wyvern is amazing. This is so cool. The fire one, the animations you get is just insane. It's so good. I want to show you what happens. We get this. You can see it takes off and then circles around. It's evading while it's circling, and then it puts this massive fire field down. It's burning enemies. This fire field is pretty cool for you getting blast finishers. So the pets that we get, new pets coming in with Heart of Thorns, and they're going to be really cool. Alright, so let's talk about the utilities. What we get, we'll come back to the special elite when we come after we've done this. We actually get glyphs. Now, glyphs have been exclusive to the elementalist, and now they get onto the druid. So the druid, the first one we get is apply significant healing to yourself and minor healing to your allies. So let's actually click that. You can see here, it heals yourself. That's all it does. Glyphs have a one-time activation, so it's pretty much a skill. Damage and apply conditions to nearby foes, the glyph of alignment. We get the Glyph of Empowerment, so increased damage of nearby allies. We then get the Glyph of Equality, daze nearby foes, and the Glyph of the Tides, push nearby enemies away from you. That's a pretty cool animation. And our elite is tether yourself to nearby foes, and when you take damage, deal damage to the foes tethered to you. So this can be really cool. Imagine PvP going in, jumping into the middle of like a big fight going on, and you pop that skill, and then suddenly you're tethered to all these people, and then if they do damage to you, you do damage to them. Bam, that's going to be a great game changer skill. So that is the utility skills we get on here. I think I missed one quickly. The Glyph of... no, I covered them all. Sorry, I did cover them all. Let's talk about the M5, the skill that's changing the way the Druid plays. You'll notice the energy bar on here. And what this is, this becomes a celestial avatar. And you consume your accumulated astral force to become a celestial avatar. This means you change your appearance, becomes a celestial. It's really cool. And your skills change. So first of all, when you keep an eye on the skills, boom, they all change. You know, your actual staff skills change. So let's have a look. Our skill 1, cool down energy onto the targeted area to heal allies. You've got skill 2, summon a seed that heals and cleanses nearby allies of conditions when it blossoms. You've got skill 3, cool down a massive lunar beam to heal and daze allies, daze opponents. Obviously it does run out pretty quick. I mean, it's not a bad damage dealer either as well, really. So if we're going to build up our astral essence again. So there we go. So if we go back into this, we didn't cover skill 4. Oh, we have to wait till it's maxed that before we can actually go into it. So there is some skill. It's very similar to like Death Shroud, where obviously you're in your astral form. However, I will say that with your astral form, I don't believe it acts like Death Shroud, for example, in the sense that you can. It's a completely new health bar. I think we can actually have a look at that and see if it works out like that way. But all your utility skills change as well. And unfortunately, there's nowhere else. Oh, let's try and kill this giant spotted big tool. So damage-wise, I mean, I'm running Celestial gear right now, and it's not too bad really for damage-wise. The pet does a lot of good damage. But we'll come on to the traits a little bit later. Again, you've got weapon swap, and you can go in here. We'll go to stealth, do a lot of it. Vulnerability, and then we'll change into Tiger. Tiger gives us a roar, gives us fury. You see here, I've actually got a lot of vulner on me right now. So what we'll do, we'll pop the skill. Now, gather tidal forces to heal nearby allies. Channel your celestial powers, pushing, cripple, and slow. So this is natural convergence. Once the channel ends, any foes with its ranges will be trapped by a black hole. I mean, look at that. That is so cool, the animation we get on that. Trapped by a black hole. So it's got the immobilized. Just some awesome animations here, and then we got all the glyphs change as well. So it is pretty difficult to, you know, keep up your astral force. I think we can keep killing stuff. But what I mean is, in the sense of regard why it's similar to Necromancer, the more you kill, the more actual celestial avatar ability you actually get. That is the meter recharges. Before I cover the rest while they're in celestial mode, let's actually have a look at the traits. So you can see, again, you have to be wary of what two you want to pick. So the Druids are a rather healing character. So we can look here. Becoming a celestial avatar removes conditions. 13 conditions it removes. That's every single one. So if you're up against a big Condi spec, for example, a Necromancer, as soon as you channel into celestial avatar, you cleanse every condition. Using a heal skill heals allies around you and your pet, which is what I've been having. So pretty much all of these are heal skills, and they're always going to do that extra healing and heal your allies. Reduces recharge of staff skills, so it cuts down those cooldown. Instead of 20 seconds, you can have it reduced down to 16. Reduces recharge and dazes nearby foes when you swap to staff. You heal an ally, you're also healed, so it improves that little bit of healing. It really does make you quite tanky. Grant super speed and stealth to nearby allies when leaving celestial avatar form. So it allows you, if you're in trouble and you use all your skills, boom, you can stealth. Verdant etching reduces recharge of glyphs. Activating a glyph skill plants a seed, and that heals and cleanses nearby allies of conditions. So again, you're looking at a really good way to cleanse conditions by using this particular trait. Natural stride reduces duration of movement impairing conditions. Your movement speed is increased by 33% as long as you have none of these conditions. So when we run this, just to show you quickly, I've got a nice Spood Beast. You know, that's pretty much perma swiftness. Phenomenal trait. Increase outgoing ally healing whenever you heal another ally, so you can build up this natural healing. So you get an increase of 2% outgoing healing effectiveness. While you're a Celestial Avatar, your allies gain reduced incoming condition damage. I mean, that is a great skill to have, particularly if you're in a Zerg against a lot of Condi spec builds. Think, for example, Sorrow's Embrace Path 3, when you've got those the particular dredge that can do a lot of burning damage. Having Grace of the Land will reduce that burning damage by 33%. Summon a wisp that orbits you. When you use this, healing an ally creates a wisp that orbits you and heals allies it touches. So this is pretty cool for Lingering Light. This actually puts this wisp around you and heals you and anyone that bumps into you. And then we have Ancient Seed. Striking a stunned, dazed, knocked down, or launched foe summons roots to entangle them. So in this regard, you can actually daze someone, for example, one of the other glyphs, and then you can hit them and it will immobilize them for five stacks and bleed them for 5 stacks for 5 seconds. Really cool. Pretty much because it's 5 stacks, you can't cleanse that. So that is a great trait to take with you as well. So again, we're going to go try and get in some battle. We'll try and build up our Celestial Avatar skill, or Celestial... Is it Celestial Avatar? Yeah, it is Celestial Avatar. Shame you can't actually use that when it... You can only pop it when it's actually at max strength. So it means like going... Let's kill the ram again. Okay, so we're going to have to go through these pretty quickly. So, there we go, we're at max. So we'll go in there. Apply significant healing to your allies and a minor to yourself. Heal and remove conditions from nearby allies. Increase outgoing healing of nearby allies. Pull enemies towards you. And tether yourself to nearby allies. Whenever you're healed, heal the tethered allies as well. So that is a great skill to have. Look, you can see that I'm tethered to my pet. And my pet's going to be healing. So that is pretty cool, that this Celestial Avatar, and the ability it changes skills. Very similar to Berserker in the fact that it changes some of the skills that you're associated with the warrior. In this regard, it actually changes your skills to do with the ranger. So overall, what is my impression of the ranger's elite spec, the druid? Well, for me, it is a terrific healing class. You know, it does add that extra support. It's bringing in a type of gameplay that, you know, the ranger's not really known for. So in that sense, it's a terrific elite spec because it changes the way you can play ranger. Not only that, it allows people to play that sort of monk type role that they may not have been, you know, have access to. And the druid in general has this overwhelming healing ability. There isn't really much else that you can do with it. You know, if you look at things to take with it, other traits, for example, I wouldn't really, you know, you've got marksmanship and skirmishing, but you could also take nature magic and beast mastery, for example, and buff up your, get some like buffs from things like, you can have critical might, so your pets grant, your critical hits grant might, or your pet gains toughness. Add in, for example, your pet gains natural health regeneration, and also the F2 skill for the pet, which obviously boosting the pet skills. But nature magic's one of the ones you can do, so you can increase the boons, you can gain quickness when your health is below 50%. You can increase your revive effect in this with your pet. You can also get vigor from your your pet grants vigor to nearby allies when you swap pets. Call of the Wind, you've got a number of different options that you can put in here. Your spirits, we don't really have spirits, but you can run when you receive damage nearby foes and weakened, and you gain protection. That's a nice trait to take. So you can really increase the boons and again increase your actual healing ability, especially if you run Nomad's gear or Cleric's gear. So for me, the Druid is a terrific elite spec. I think a lot of people enjoy running it. The fact that we get new pets. The staff is a pretty cool weapon that we get. I love the animations that you have, the ray that you fire out. And the glyphs aren't too bad either, although I feel some of the glyphs are pretty weak. But generally, it's a really good elite spec from ArenaNet, one that a lot of people are really happy about. The Ranger, it was definitely worth waiting for. Please leave any comments.